Welcome back, traders. Today we are doing the Bitcoin weekend update. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Marathon Digital, Bit Farms, and I'm going to talk about one trade at the very end that is not crypto related. It's very risky. It's very interesting. Stick along to the end to see what that is. Anyways, first of all, let's look at Bitcoin. So far, we're just kind of hanging out in the demand zone down here that I drew quite a while ago. It's just kind of hovering around the top of it, sometimes going to the bottom of it. We saw this one little pump here. That was from the grayscale ruling, where the SEC, where they ruled against the SEC in favor of Bitcoin and grayscale at that last week. And since we've seen that, we've given back all of those gains and then some since then. As to be expected, we are in September, and in this month, the average move for Bitcoin is 6% down. That is the average. Could be more, could be less, but on average, we move 6% down. Our current price is 25,747. The 6% down move from where we currently are would be down here at 24,200. I have done this before. I've recorded this a few times, so we're moving fast. So this is the average move that we could expect is down to this level, kind of in no man's land between these two zones that I've drawn here on the chart. It could come all the way down here, could come down to this line, could go just a little bit down into this area here, and then go back up. We don't know. For now, I'm keeping an eye on this downward green trend line because even with the grayscale news, if you look, we kind of respected it. It ran up to it, stopped at it, went above it, came back down to it in a few hours, clung to it for several hours before dropping off. I'm kind of expecting a similar move like that in the future. We'll see it kind of come up, hit that trend line, and then come back down. I don't know if that'll happen this month or in this month or next month or sometime, but that could happen. Again, September is a rough month. It's going to probably be pretty tough, but keep in mind that October and November are some of the best months for Bitcoin. So stay patient. We should see some interesting stuff happen in the coming months from there. Let's take a look at Mara. Mara is currently looking kind of bearish. So on the 2-hour chart, in fact, I don't like 2-hour chart right now. I want to see a 1-hour chart. We did a double top. Not that one, this one. We did a double top right here and right here at the 13, almost $14 range. And that double top was confirmed when price went below this central line right here. You see this big long wick right there where I have this orange line at 1248. It went below 1247, went below that. So that is confirmed. We're probably going to see a movement. We might back test this orange line here and then see movement back down into the 1092, 11, 11 to 1050 range. That's where we're headed probably on Mara. That's what the chart is saying to me when I look at it. It looks bearish. We're in our downward channel that I drew. You notice it went right up to the top of my box here, which is also the top of this downward channel, came back down a little bit into it, came up to it, just peeked outside of it, touched the top of that box, and then shot right back down into the right to the middle of this chart. This bear flag right here, see that? That was a bear flag. We did a bear flag right at the tip of the central point for the double top, and we're doing a bit of a bear flag right now. So I'm thinking probably, well, we may do this holding pattern for another day, maybe for just a few hours, maybe even in the pre-market it'll break, but I'm expecting to go up a little bit and then come down, probably back down to this region here between 11 and like 10, something like that. That's what I'm looking at more. Bit Digital. Bit Digital is also looking pretty bearish. We got back into this downward trend right here, this downward channel. It is hanging right at the middle of it. Look, that we are still going below this shelf. We have now touched it 1, 2, 3 times. Usually the third time breaks through. So since it did not do that, that is pretty bearish. We also had a bit of a double top here on this one, looking right here and right there. That was our double top, and right at this price 248, when we closed beneath it right here at this bear flag, that was our cue that it was going to go down further. Price needs to get above this 272. Until price on Bit Digital goes above 272, I'm bearish on it. I am purchasing when it makes new low, but I am bearish until it goes above 272. If you can see, every time we touch this line here, we make a new low. Made a low here at 242, came up, tapped this line, came down, made a new low at 225, 226, came back, touched this, went all the way down to 224, making a new low by 2 cents. If we get a new low of even 223, that's a new low. Moving off of this move. That's bearish to me. I'm not super excited about this chart right now. I'm kind of just waiting to see things. I'm thinking for Bit Digital, the ultimate bottom is probably somewhere down here in the 177, between 177 and 160 is where I'm thinking the ultimate bottom probably is for Bit Digital, and it's just going to grind down there for months, months, months. Of course, if the price of Bitcoin turns around and just does a meteoric rise at the end of the year this year, then all of that is thrown out the window, and Bit Digital will continue to trade alongside Bitcoin, making moves twice as hard as Bitcoin does when it goes up. So that's that's the ultimate thing. Below 272, I'm bearish, unless Bitcoin does a big upward move, in which case I'm bullish on all of these. So let's look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms is actually the strongest out of all of them right now. It is making new highs and higher lows. So higher highs and higher lows. That is the pattern we want to see. So we're in an upward trend on Bitfarms, actually. And the price action is, you see here, we made a low here at 119. Then we came up here to 142, made a new low, slightly higher at 120. It was 1 cent, but it is higher. And then we made a new high up here, which I can't see because my stuff made a new high at 149 after that. And right now we're basing right here around 129. As long as we make a new low, 121 or higher, that's a higher low, and I'm still bullish on Bitfarms movement. I am thinking in my mind, based on this price action that I'm seeing right here, this zone and this upward channel, based on that price action, I am thinking that 120 was probably the bottom. And if Bitcoin has like a really hard crash, we might see 110, we might see 115, but I'm pretty certain we're not going to see anything below 109. I'm feeling that based on this chart. Of course, that could change, but right now, I'm thinking Bitfarms has potentially found its ultimate bottom and might wick below it down to this 115 range, maybe, if things get really dicey. But I don't foresee a future, a recent future, anyways, a near future, in Bit farms going much lower than where it currently is. So I'm actually feeling kind of bullish on this one. So that's it. That's the update on Bitcoin, Marathon Digital, Bit Digital, and Bit Farms. Now let's talk about that super high risk options trade that I'm actually looking at. This one's going to be options. It's related to VinFast, which is a Vietnamese car company that recently went public, very recently, actually. So this one has really high premiums that are going right now. I don't know if you can find anyone to pay these high premiums, but there are some pretty sweet premiums on this one right now. GFS. This thing's crazy, crazy risky. This is something you will lose your shirt on if you're not careful. And maybe don't do it because you'll probably lose your shirt on this one, actually. Anyways, so if you see this huge downward movement, strong momentum all the way down, it started tapering around 48, came down pretty strong again, down to the 38, and then it kind of went sideways. And then since then, it's just been kind of good, still going down, but sideways, and it's kind of popping up now with some green candles, blue on my chart. I'm thinking that the ultimate low here is probably going to be around, yeah, we closed that. Probably going to be around 20-ish, maybe 24. It's going to struggle to get below 24. It's very recently IPO'd. It is still trying to find its equilibrium price support. So currently, the $29 put, if you were to sell, I'm not talking about buying puts. Buying puts on this stock right now would be absolutely insane. You could probably earn a crap ton of money, but you could also just lose it all in seconds. So that's scary. That's too scary for me, too risky for me. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at maybe, depending on the price action in the first hour of trading tomorrow, maybe selling a put on it. Not the $29 one for $730. Probably not that one. That's a little too risky for me considering that price is 29.50. It just take 59, 50 cents and I'm out the $3,000 that'll cost almost $3,000 it'll cost to buy, 100 shares of VinFast, $29 with potentially greater downside. Is if I bring up Webull and I go to VinFast. So I am looking at something like even a $15. If I were to sell a $15 put, there's a point 0.8 delta. That means that there is about an 8% chance that VinFast will close below $15 by Friday, and I could make anywhere between $45 and $60 on that put if I were to sell it. Not buy it, but sell it. If I sold a $15 put and VinFast continued to move sideways or up for the remainder of the week, as long as it stays above $15, heck, it could even come down to $19 or $18. And as long as on Friday at 1 p.m. California time, that's where I am, uh, this thing does not go below $15, I get to keep that money. So that's what I'm looking at. And that's, I like a 92% chance of success. I like that. That sounds good to me. I mean, I kind of even like something closer to the $18 with an 84% chance of success for, 100 or more than $100 premium. That's pretty interesting to me as well. If we go even 2 weeks out and we look at even the like 18, $17 one, the 17.50 or the $15 one, we're looking at almost $200. And there's a lot of open interest on it, actually. So oh wow, and the most amount of open interest is at $10. So that's that's pretty scary actually. So price could go all the way down to $10 before it reaches the highest amount of support for this one. So keep that in mind. That's just 2 weeks away. Keep that in mind. Anything above $10, anything from 29 to $10 is fair game right now because of that. So let's look at Maximum Pain. Maximum Pain website you can come and check out to see where the highest volume are for puts and calls on the options chain. So in this one, this is VFS. Already brought it up for September 8th, which is this Friday, and you can see the maximum pain number is $35. That means that the most amount of people or the most amount of contracts between puts and calls will lose money at $35. So you can see the highest level of puts for that day for this Friday is $30, and the highest number of calls is at $50. So $35 right here, that's where the most amount of options contracts expire worth. And that is what I'm looking at. I'm considering it. I'm looking at a much less I'm looking at the much less risky trade of selling an option so I collect the premium somewhere very far away from the money right now because the premiums are high and just collecting my $45 for assignment of 100 shares of VinFast at $15. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I might not do that. It really depends on what price action of VinFast is doing in the morning. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I am saying here is not financial advice. I am not suggesting for anyone to buy, sell, or hold any crypto stock or other, or any security at all. This is what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking about. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable